Everybody wants to be #1 in Jon Crispin's power rankings. Let the tweeting begin, the comments, concerns, and more to the point, the complaints as you lay it out. But this week, because there's probably less drama at the top than there is at the middle, we're going to have you go 1 down to 5.
Yeah, I like that. And it starts with Purdue. I still see Purdue as kind of the torchbearer for this conference because I think they have the most potential nationally. And yes, I think Big Ten teams will figure out how to take them out. And I like what Michigan did by really bringing Biggie Swanigan away from the basket defensively, making him work twice as hard, because what happens when big guys get tired, they get fouls. They get a step behind the play, they're not as effective. So I think they did exactly what they needed to do to beat Purdue, but I still think Purdue is our #1 team. Next, I got Minnesota.
All the way up to #2 now.
All the way up. I know it's kind of crazy. I usually don't respond that quickly, but you have to look at what this team's done over the last 7 games. I always say you're not defined by the lull that you're hit. You're defined by how you respond to it. Well, this team has certainly responded well to hitting a nasty lull. They lost 5 games in a row. We thought the season was over for a really good Minnesota team. Well, they bounced back. And the play of Jordan Murphy and Reggie Lynch, as I said earlier in the show, is ultimately what's bringing them back. The guard play's great. I think we've always known the guard play's there. Nate Mason's gotten better and better as the season's going on. Akeem Spring is not afraid to take tough shots. But the big guys, Eric Curry, Jordan Murphy and Reggie Lynch really controlling things down in the paint.
I thought Murphy was a guy that could have been part of your all-Big Ten first team, probably a high second-team guy right now. Now comes the debate. What do you do with Wisconsin, Maryland? Have Michigan and Michigan State entered this conversation?
Well, I think you got to give it to Wisconsin, and that's where I'm going. You give it to Wisconsin until they work their way out. And I think it's really close. They're at the point where if you watch them play, it's easy to look at them and say, they're probably more like a 6 or 7 when you look at Michigan State, Michigan, even Northwestern looming. They're struggling. They're struggling offensively, but I still think I trust their system. I trust what they've done every single year. And I trust that they're going to be right back where they need to be by the end of the conference.
Just a little scary for me when you look at how far they can drop in seeding, both in the Big Ten and NCAA tournament. #4.
#4 is Maryland. And even though Maryland's starting to struggle a little bit, the freshmen are getting some questions.
I'm surprised you did not move Michigan up past Maryland.
Michigan and honestly Michigan State could easily move up above Maryland, but Maryland's won so many close games. So I think it would be a little premature to count them out at this point just because they struggled a little bit late in February.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that I'm surprised. I know you've been high on both Michigan and Michigan State.
Well, and that's why Michigan's next. Michigan struggled coming in, starting Big Ten play, and they've struggled to find themselves defensively, but they've really figured it out. Michigan at this point is a team that's playing like a top 3 team in the conference. So if anybody wants to argue, I think Michigan could be higher. I think Michigan State, who's right now in that 6th spot outside looking into the top 5, they certainly could be higher. And I think they're going to continue to move up. They've got an opportunity. You've got Illinois on Wednesday. If you win on Wednesday, I think Michigan State is really starting to just plant themselves in the NCAA tournament once again.
So you have Michigan and then Michigan State at #6. Where does Northwestern fall in this conversation?
Is there not a steady bubble spot for the Big Ten every year, and that's the 7th spot? I mean, if you're in the 7th spot,
you're going to be on the bubble.
Big Ten standings, you are in the bubble, and I think that's exactly where Northwestern is right now. They're a very good team. I think a lot of people say they're still in the tournament, but I think they have 1 more game to win, which means at the 7th spot, you are firmly on the bubble. You need 1 game to make that move up.
Now, you don't have Illinois as part of your top 7. I don't know if they'd be #8. Do you buy Stuart Mandel's pitch that this is a team that may be 2, maybe 3 wins away from getting into the tournament?
Yeah, it's 2, maybe 3 wins away. You're talking about having to do something in the Big Ten tournament as well. And I think that's what the challenge is. Can you be as consistent as you've been over the past week or so? That's a challenge for anybody in this conference, but they're experienced. And I think they're finally at the right time figuring it out.
If they do win 2 this week, beat Michigan State, beat Rutgers, then they're not going to be playing on Wednesday. So you play on Thursday, and whoever you play, it's likely going to be a quality win as far as the committee is concerned.
They made noise in the Big Ten tournament last
I think
year.
if they win the next 3, I think they have a better chance to get in than Northwestern if Northwestern loses 1 of the next 3.
Probably right.
They swept the Wildcats during the regular season.